Your life, your wahala, your breakthrough, idea. Welcome to the chat room.
This no be ordinary place. Now a solution they show face. LadyMary they lead the way. With guests we go blow your brain. Talk.
Yo. Now your matter with the talk. Your life, your wahala, your breakthrough, idea. Welcome to the chat room.
This no be ordinary place. Now a solution they show face. LadyMary they lead the way. With guests we go blow your brain. Talk your matter make we solve 'em. No judgment, just love and wisdom. We they discuss, we they learn. Every episode you go feel the burn. Oh, the chat room. Now here we define the way. Oh, the chat room.
Oh yes.
We go talk and clear, no delay. Oh, it's interactive, educative, informative, and unapologetic. Oh, the chat room. We unstoppable, no be lie. You, hey, the chat room. Hey, now here we define the way. The chat room. We go talk and clear, no delay. It's interactive, educative, informative, and unapologetic. Oh, the chat room. We unstoppable, no be lie. Oh, the chat room. Now here we define the way. Oh, the chat room. Oh yes, we go talk and clear, no delay. It's interactive, educative, informative, and unapologetic. Oh, the chat room. We unstoppable, no be lie. You.
Good afternoon, good evening to you all, depending on what time it may be at your end. I hope you can hear me okay. My name is LadyMary Boadu. I am the host for the chat room, a platform dedicated to resolving daily life's issues. Over here, it's informative, it's educative, and it's all about positivity. And it's our hope that we bring about transformation to our communities, and that includes your home and my home as well. This month, we are talking about education. For the past 2 weeks or so, we've dealt with AI, utilizing AI and the different aspects and, the disclaimers and the policies there are when it comes to using AI as a student in the classroom, whether it be in college or whichever, level you may be. And so tonight we have a very doctor with us. I believe, as always, is going to be informative. So please bring all of your listening ears and let's dive into this tonight. But without wasting much time, I'll let my co-host introduce herself, and then I guess we'll introduce herself before we take off. Nanaya, go ahead.
Hello. Good evening, everyone. My name is Anaya Sarpong. I am the co-host for the chat room. I'm a mother, a wife, an entrepreneur, and I am excited about today's conversation. I think it's one that it's very well needed, and it's exciting to have Dr. Ya here with all her wisdom and insights to help us get on the right routes when it comes to our children. Preparing our children for the future. So thank you all for tuning in. Dr. Ya, over to you.
Thank you. Good afternoon, good morning, good evening, no matter which it is in your time zone. I hope it's a good one. As Nanaya Sapon said, my name is Dr. Ya Agyekum. I am also a mother of 3 girls who are very, very, very busy, keep me busy, and are doing very well. And ultimately, I am an educator. My goal in life, I guess, is to ensure that, my belief is that every parent wants their child to succeed. Every parent believes that their child is the best ever, right? And that is true. And so my goal, my mission in life is to make sure that as parents, we are equipped to make sure our kids fulfill that which they have been called to do. So any way I can help do that, that is what I want to do. So I guess by day, I work, I'm a school administrator, and by, by night, I am also an adjunct professor at Virginia Commonwealth University. So I have experience with the youngest, age 4, all the way to those in college. So
Nice
glad
one.
to be here.
Thank you for honoring the invitation as well. Nanea, please take over. Let's get started.
Look, you share the link.
Oh, yes. If you're just joining us, this is the chat room. Please, we just ask that you click on the share button and then share it with anyone that you feel this could be beneficial to. But yes, I've sent out the links so you can forward it out in case we have friends and families that want to tune in. Thank you.
Okay. All right. I'm just gonna go ahead. Yeah, I'm gonna forward it to you. All right. So, like I said, since we have our Dr. Ya here, who is the professional when it comes to directing, being that Ya is in the school zone, right? The school system. I felt that she's, been doing this. She has a lot of experience working with families, working with children, and in her own, preparing her girls for the future, right? I felt that she would be the perfect person to help us with this conversation because, growing up, what we prepared for, like how we prepared for the future, it's definitely not the same way that this generation is preparing or how we should be helping this generation prepare. Same world, but different times. So when it comes to just in general, as a conversation starter, just in general, what should we be, I guess, doing that, something that is different from how we saw things, like, how we were brought up and how we prepared for the future. What does it look like now? Does that make sense? Like
Yes.
what should we be doing? Okay, so take over.
So that is a very, very loaded question. And so you gave me advance notice, so I had time to prepare. I just
Good.
didn't want to come and just, kind of be talking. But so what I did was I kind of came up with 8 points that, people should sort of think about, parents should think about, remember, and use in their as they're raising their children. I think for me, I think back to my parents. They were born in Ghana. My parents came here when they were in their teens, and did whatever it took for us, for my sister and I, to have. They prepared us for a school system they didn't know anything about, and what they instilled in me and my sister is that education is paramount, right? You have to do, that's the one thing you can get that nobody can take from you. And so as parents, we have to really make it a point to instill that in our children as well. And I think, so the first point I would give is that for us to remember as parents that an education is more than just grades, right? It's not all about getting A's and, being at the top of your class. Yes, that is important, but we have to also encourage them to strive, because not every class is going to be easy. Not every, subject is going to be come to them very easily. But it's our job as parents to encourage them. Okay, so that test didn't go well. What could you have done differently? Did you prepare? asking them, talking to them about it, that it's okay. Yeah, you didn't get the A, you got a B. Instead of saying as many of our parents said to us, why didn't you get an A? An A was there, why didn't you get it? No, the question should be, okay, what happened? Did you not prepare well? Was there something you didn't understand? Or on the opposite, if there was something that they were struggling with before the exam and they were able to sort of, work hard, study, and they were able to persist and get it, that also should be celebrated as well, right? And so as parents, we have to make sure that we are building in them the skill to do school, right? It's not all about just going to take a test, get an A, put the information in your head and spit it back out, right? We need to make sure our kids know how to do school, how to advocate for themselves, how to be persistent, and how to really look beyond the grades, right? So as parents, we have to remember that as well, because we are the ones who will put that into their head, right? That, okay, you have to get an A. Yeah, getting an A is important, but the process is equally important. So that would be the first point. Education is more than grades.
Okay.
Right?
So the process. So talk us through the process.
So like think about if your child has a long-term project, right? Let's say, there's something due, or they have a test, in 2 weeks. Sometimes their tendency would be to wait. I don't have to study today because it's not for another 2 weeks. No, it's our job to teach them. Exactly. It's our job to teach them how to sort of break it down and learn how to take a little bit at a time, so that by the end, we're able to be successful. Teach them that. Teach them how to ask questions, how to advocate for themselves. If they need help, don't just stay quiet, suffering in silence. Meanwhile, you don't know what's going on. It's important to learn how to ask for help. It's not a sign of weakness to do that, And so we have to encourage them to do that. Encourage them, okay, even when it's difficult, keep trying. It doesn't mean you have failed. It just means you found a way that doesn't work. So keep going until you're able to, to succeed. And so that's what we have to continue to instill in them, and not just jump down on them that, oh, you didn't study, that's why you failed. No, maybe they did, they just don't get it.
So how do you get that mindset, though? The mindset of it's not a weakness to ask questions, right? Because peer pressure is a thing. And being in class, with all your friends and everybody else is getting it, but you're not getting it, right? So now you want to pretend like you're getting it too. How do you like?
So yeah, it's a good question, because that happens, right? Like you have kids who they want to make sure it's not cool or acceptable to ask questions. But what I always tell kids is the reality is, just because somebody is finished first doesn't mean they got an A.
Exactly.
Because somebody is sitting there not asking questions, it doesn't mean that they know what's going on. Exactly. And so and most times the question that you have, somebody else has the same question too, but they are also afraid. So even as an adult, when I'm in meetings and somebody is saying something that it's not, computing, or I say, hold on, can you help me understand that? Can you say that again? And then as kids are getting older, if they're able to, sometimes email your teacher. You were going over this in class. I was trying to keep up with the class, so I didn't want to stop you, but I wasn't sure. I had a question about such and such. Is there a time we can meet? You can meet with your teachers after school in study hall, depending on the grade that they're in. I mean, teachers are there to help you. That's what they are paid to do. Yeah, that's what they are paid to do. They are paid to help. And really, if as a teacher, from again putting my administrator hat on, if the whole class is failing something, is the teacher's fault. Is the teacher's fault, right?
That's so why they grade on the curve.
Yeah, it's the teacher's fault, right? Because everybody can't have missed it. it's just not possible, right?
Yeah.
And so I just continue to encourage my own kids, hey, listen, ask for help, because my kids go to a private school, so I am paying the teachers to teach them. So if you don't understand, you need to ask them a question. They are there to help you, you know? So we just have to encourage that. And then also as parents, we have to model it for them. You know, it's not enough for us to just say something and expect them to do it. We also have to sort of model that and be that example as well in whatever, you know, space that we're in.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Okay.
So yeah, so focus on sort of the process. Education is more than grades. I think the second thing I would say is the partnership between school and home is very, very important. A lot of times parents wait until something goes wrong to reach out to the teacher or to reach out to the principal. And at that point, everyone is heightened. You know, you're not in a space to have a productive conversation. You know, it may be your child came home and said something and you want to defend them. And so you're not really listening to what the teacher is saying. And no, the two of you need to be on the same page, because if the child knows that they can do something in school and come home and tell you, and you would take their side without any consultation, that isn't good, right?
Yeah.
So it's very important that, you know, as parents, we're communicating with the teachers when they have a meeting, whether it's conferences or open house, back to school night. We have to show up. We have to show up. You know, it's important, you know, for them, for the kids to know that it matters, right? It matters to them. And the teachers know they are home with somebody who is helping them, who is interested in their well-being. You know, just showing up is really, really, really important. You know, so that's also, you know, you made mention of sort of the school that, you made mention of the fact that we're preparing kids for a school that we didn't go to, right? Like
For
even
different
now,
world.
it's a different world. And the way that they teach certain things now is different than the way.
Tell me about it.
Yeah, I mean, and I went to school here, so
I don't help with homework anymore.
Yeah.
Not that I don't know how it's supposed to be done. It's just they're not doing it how I know how it's done.
No, even me, who, I mean, I went to school here, so I think I pretty much have an understanding, but the way they do it, sometimes, you know, Hannah will be doing homework and she'll ask me a question and I would help her, particularly with math. I would say, okay, you know, this is how you do it. And then she'll be telling me no. So I'm like, well, I know what my answer is correct.
That's not how my teacher showed me.
Exactly. And so, and it's not that they're trying to.
Answer though. No,
Exactly. You know, and so it's important to, you know, meet with the teacher and say, hey, listen, I tried to help, but the way I was doing it, it was confused. It was more confusing to them. So I stopped, because that's another thing too. Sometimes, you know, we don't want to continue to sort of, you know, beat them over the head with it. And it's creating more confusion than anything. So in a case like that, send an email to the teacher. Listen, we tried. He was crying. I was crying. We said stop. So, you know, it's better. It's better to
try.
Yeah. You know, but it's important that your child knows your teacher and your parents are on the same page. It's very important. So we have to be involved. We have to be involved.
That's good. That's really good.
Point number 3. Which we kind of touched on a little bit, but focus on establishing learning habits at home, right? So again, it's not only about the grades, it's about the process. So at home, we want to make sure that we are creating an environment where they can get their homework done, right? So if we get home and, you know, we're making all this noise, the TV is on, and there's just so much commotion going on at home, is the child going to be able to study?
No,
right? You know, or if we, you know, let's say we get home, we bring them home and we're going from place to place to place. We don't get home until late every night. It doesn't help them to establish a routine that they would need in the future, right? Because ultimately, I don't remember where I saw this quote, but it was like that as parents, our job is to raise our children to not need us, right?
Yeah.
And so you think about it, like they're in school now, they live with us, right? They go to school. We can tell them, get up, go to bed. You have a test tomorrow, do your homework. Time is coming when they're going to be, it's my desire my children go to college away, right? They go there. And so if they don't have that routine developed now where they know when I come home from class, I go over my notes, I study for my test. They have to have that routine now.
Yeah.
So it's not something that's going to magically show up when they go to school. It's not. I mean, we all have been there. Our first semester of college, we all have the story to tell, how it went. We all know, right? The biggest mistake we all did was taking an 8 o'clock class.
8 a.m. class.
We're like, yeah, I'm
That's
used to
my
getting
first
up.
advice to anybody going to college. I said, don't take that. You are not going to make it. Yes, 8 a.m. I know high school is 6 a.m. and you're like, oh, I can make it to high school. You're not going to make it to that 8 a.m. class. Don't do it.
No, and so we have to make sure that now they are developing these routines and so that when we are not there to sort of, nag them and did you do your homework? Did you check? They know they can monitor it for themselves. It's very important to encourage that discipline and independence, that is, hey, when it's time to do homework, all distractions have to go, and I think, I remember, years ago when my kids were younger and we were having like, church service every night. And it came a point where it's like, man, they don't have enough time to do their homework, and they're staying up
every night.
No, I mean like during the week, maybe they
like going to church. Okay.
Yeah. Or
it was a home thing. I'm like,
like going to church.
Like
No. Or like maybe you have the kids are involved in sports. That's another big one. There's practice during the week. We have them in because it's important, right, to be involved in other things. But at the same time, we have to make sure that we are creating a space for them to know how to develop that routine, how to do school well. Because the time will come, we won't be there, So it's important for us to do that now.
On that topic, okay. Mm-hmm. So how do we create, or you want to create that routine, right? But then also you want to have them independently develop their own type of disciplines and routine, right? For example, if there's children at home, they're doing homework, right? You come home, maybe the first hour, you get a break between home and school, do whatever, get a break. After that 1 hour, you do homework. But while you're doing homework, you're like, okay, I just want to have some headphones on to listen to music while I'm doing homework, or just you have your own routine. Mm-hmm. Right. And this is speaking from my boy. No,
it's true.
It's like, I work better with, I know that it's distracting.
To you, though.
That's what I'm saying. I know that it's distracting because I'm like, if I want to really focus, I have to put that thing away. But then you're telling me that, no, like, this is my zone, right? Mm-hmm. So how do I, as the parent, get to the point where I'm like, okay, let him do his own thing and see how it goes, right? Mm-hmm. Allow him that independent of saying, yes, I'm doing my homework, but I need this too. When me as a parent, I'm like, as a parent, I'm like, I don't think you're getting everything you're supposed to get if you have that distraction.
Yeah, but so for you, it's distracting. It's kind of touching on another point I'll talk about in a little bit later, but normalizing different learning styles. People learn differently, right? For some people, sitting in a quiet library is too quiet and they're able to hear the slightest bit of sound is distracting, right? But so some people need some background noise to kind of like serve as, what do they call, what do they call that thing? Like white noise or
like white noise.
Yeah,
I can see that, but headphones, I'm like, that's kind of.
But maybe he needs. Sometimes we give kids headphones in class to block out so that they can focus better. Sometimes there's sound coming from it or not. But one way to really know if it's working is the work getting done, and is it getting done correctly? Yeah. If he's able to do it and he's doing it right, leave him. But if you have headphones on and every time, you check on him, or maybe, the grades come in or whatever the case may be, the progress report he's not doing well, then we need to change something. We need to change something up. So some of that, the natural consequence also has to set in. I think one thing after COVID, one thing we've noticed as school administrators is kids don't know how to sit in discomfort, right? They want it easy. And so when they don't really put forth all the work and they don't get an A, they're upset. But it's like, hold on, let's process this. How did we get here? And so sometimes a little bit of natural consequence is good. You thought you were studying with your headphones on and your music on, and then when the time came for the exam, nothing was coming to you. Maybe you weren't as focused as you thought. So let's try something else. So that goes back to my first question, where my first point, where you're talking about the process. So you thought you did really well, but you ended up getting a C. What do you think happened?
Something didn't go well.
Where did it go wrong? How can we make sure in the future it doesn't happen that way? Like my oldest will, I don't know, maybe it's just my house. They get on FaceTime and do their homework together. So sometimes I'll go back. Yeah, and I'm hearing.
Too. Why are you on FaceTime doing homework? Oh, I'm doing homework with this person.
Yeah. So
I'm like,
okay.
Why are you doing homework with this person? Because they understood it and I didn't. Why did you ask questions?
He's asking questions.
I didn't know I didn't understand it.
No, but that's okay. See, that's a good resource. You ask a peer who has an understanding instead of him struggling and failing. He's reaching out and asking for help. Now, if his friend also doesn't understand and he's continuing to ask him, then we need to talk. Right?
We have a problem.
Yeah, but that's because, again, in college you can't always get to the TA, in an amount of time that you need. Maybe, you just, for whatever reason, you just ask one of your classmates, maybe they're able to help you. But so I think sometimes natural consequence will set in, and so they know. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
They know.
If you come home with the wrong grade, because there is the right grade and then there's the wrong grade.
Yeah.
If you come home with the wrong one.
And you have to explain yourself, and so when you have nothing else to say, but I just didn't study well, that's not a good feeling for them, position to be in, right? And so they'll correct themselves, But again, you've got to be involved, and it's not just you got an F. Why didn't you get it? You have to talk to them about it. So that's important there.
Okay, so it's important to kind of have them develop their own way of learning and disciplines as much as you are trying to direct and contribute, but not really have them like strictly go by your way of doing things.
Yeah, I mean, so then again, this is the next point, which goes directly in line with this, is normalize that there's different learning styles. Everybody learns differently, right? So some kids to study for a quiz, they just need to read over the stuff once, twice, they're good. Some people may need to write it down.
Yeah.
Rewrite it and read through it again. Some people like to now, there's so many, talking about AI, there's so many different apps that you can use where you put the information in and it can make you a quiz. It can make you flashcards. Some people can use those things, so yeah. So, you just have to understand that not everybody learns the same way. Some kids need longer to learn what for you feels easy. I remember in middle school. So me and math don't really have a good relationship. We don't. So in middle school, I remember I'll be sitting at the table with my dad. My dad is like a numbers person. And I'm trying to do homework, studying for a test, and I am not, I don't get it. Like he's saying the same thing. And I'm like, I heard you, but I don't understand it. You know what I mean? So, I'm crying. He's upset.
Frustrated.
He's frustrated. Me too. I'm frustrated. I'm crying, but it wasn't working, And so I had to, so eventually they got me a tutor who was explaining it in a different way. that made it clicked. It made more sense. And so I was able to do better, you know, but you can't like expect everyone to learn it the same way you are. Everyone's brain is wired differently, you know, and so some people need noise. Some people need, you know, quiet. Some people need to be up and moving. It all kind of depends. And so we really just need to give grace for that. And with that, stop comparing our kids to others. I will say that again, because we Africans do that. Stop comparing our children to other people's children. We don't know what's in everybody's mind, right? Everyone thinks
That's
and
not
learns
motivation.
differently. You said what?
I said we can't say that's motivation.
No. I mean, but the thing is, because we just have to be careful. We have to, I mean, ultimately, we're laughing about it, but you have to be careful when you're comparing your child to someone else, because you don't know what they are doing to get those A's. You know, it's you don't know what they're doing to get where they are. Your child is going through something different. We have to stop that. We have to stop that and let our kids be who they are, and not have them, you know, live a life we didn't get to live.
Yeah.
Our time is
And
past.
even like comparing them with like siblings also.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's not good. It's not good. We have to stop that. You know, it's easy to, you know, to do that, but it's not helpful. It's not helpful. So we have to, and to stop comparing what we see other people's children doing and then telling our kids to do the same.
Okay, so let's talk about that though. Doesn't that depend on what the person is doing? So like if you see that this child, you know, it's like it takes time to read and do what they're supposed to do, right? Is it wrong to say, oh look, you know, he's always got a book, you know, you're always on your iPad. Maybe give it a break and pick out a book.
I have a comment.
Yeah, why do you have to compare? If you want your child to put the iPad down, tell them to put the iPad down. What does it have to do with what the other?
Though. It's like example.
But just because he has a book doesn't mean he's reading it.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
it's true.
It doesn't mean he's reading it.
It's true, but you know, I feel like sometimes maybe if it's a good example, you know, it's a reference. You know how you want to.
I have a comment, Nanaya, and I keep going in and out because I have the baby here. Mm-hmm. So when she starts screaming, I'll just go off.
Oh, so let her feel free. Feel free.
Oh my God. So, Nana, to be honest, I'm really big on this comparison thing. I think it's a killer, because everyone and how their emotions work. There are those that if you're not careful, you can make comparison. And if you're not careful, you might not know what that child can do to themselves. And we've seen it. Children are, I don't want to use the word, you know, taking their own just because they were compared to other people. So I think that as parents, we need to learn your child. And all of our children, they're all different. So we learn them, and it's not even good to compare our own children. I don't think it is either, because everyone and how they learn. So I use my children as an example. Joel can pick up any book and read it. He can just finish assignments in like 2 minutes. The others are not. And so I dare not go and compare them together. And one thing that I wanted to say, Africans, wabong, you're not smart.
Yes.
Those things, no, they go a long way, because there's some people that they are trying, though you think they're not trying, they are trying. And the last thing they need is for you to undermine or just, you know, come up with those comments. They are bad. So if you're a parent and you're watching, please, those comments, we've been there. Well, oh, you lost. Oh, you failed. Oh, this and that. Where's the source of encouragement? And so at that point, you're like, well, it doesn't even matter anyways. So I think that parents want to be cautious. We want to be cautious, but I never like those things. Don't compare me, because I was compared to certain people and the things these people were doing behind closed doors. Okay, I leave it right there.
No, it's true because
Yeah.
I mean it's I have a cousin who the dad is a CPA, very successful. One of them and his brother's kids all went on to medical school. So the oldest one, he thought that was his parents, that was the expectation for him. He went, and second year he literally lost his mind. They found him wandering in the street. And he never called home. And to this day, he's still not right. He's still not right, And I know my sister, one of her friends, same thing. He went and he couldn't pass the exam. And he started having so much stress and anxiety. He ended up, you know him. He ended up having some kind of heart issue. Why? Because, he wanted to, he didn't want to, I guess he felt shame to be able to say, yeah. I mean, and I remember when I went to UVA for my bachelor's, I went in, as we all did, I went in pre-med, right? Went in pre-med. I'm like, yeah, I'm going to go be a doctor. Yes. Biology hit me. No, chemistry. I'm like, oh no, this is not going to work. It's not going to work. It's not going to work. And so I decided at that point I was going to be a psychology major. So I went ahead, did all of that. Then I finished, and then I went, I got a job, and then I took a year off. And then I decided to get my master's in social work. And growing up, I had this uncle. He was my favorite uncle. I mean, like, we were like, every summer I would go spend time with him without my parents. I'll spend the whole summer, we hang out. And so when I decided to go to get my master's in social work, my dad was disappointed, right? Because he wanted me to be a doctor. Oh. And he told my uncle, he was so upset. I talked to Yah. Yah's not listening to me. Call her. She'll listen to you. So he called me. And do you know what he said to me? He's like, I will never forget it. He was like, you are going to ruin your life. You won't be able to do anything.
The uncle?
Yes. I mean, and it hurt me so bad because it's my favorite uncle. I mean, like my favorite uncle. So I said, well, that's what I decided to do, So I'm like, okay. So, on and so forth. I have a doctorate now. Do you know, I have not talked to him since.
Wow.
He's never called me since then. But I'm sure he knows what I'm doing and all of that. But up to today, I haven't spoken to him again. I've tried calling. But we don't know what, and I believe I am in the lane I'm supposed to be. Medical school was not for me. It wasn't. It
wasn't. Say you couldn't have done it, but
yeah, So that's comparing our kids, and I don't know how to pull the comments. Oh, here we go. The comments back up.
Oh, I'll pull. I was going to pull them once you were done talking. So that's
the comment about the learning disability. We refuse to support our kids. It's true. It's we pray it away, but no. If there is something going on, we have to seek it out. We believe that our children were created in the image of God, and God doesn't make mistakes. We quote the scripture that before I formed you, I knew you, all of this. But then when something doesn't fall in line with the way we think it should, we start to pray it away. Yeah, or what we think. Mm-hmm. Sometimes people even say, oh, it's something that the mother did. It's something she was doing, or it's a sin, or something she was into. That's why the child came out that way. Can you imagine? And so we have to stop those things, and really support the children God has given us. Each of them are different. And they need different things from us. And it's our job as their parents to unlock that gift with the grace of God. We can't, say, okay, well, why don't you be like this one? Don't you see this person is doing that thing? Go and do that. No, it's not right. It's not right. We have to stop.
A few weeks ago, my mom was here, and the conversation came up, and this, she she wants to be over here to be the mother of the year, talking about, when you were going to school, I listened to you. You didn't want to do this, and we talked about it, and I was like, huh? She was like, yeah, you went for nursing, and you didn't want to do it, and we talked about it. I said, lady, you did not even know.
That was not the case.
I was not in nursing school until graduation. You did not know that I did not complete nursing school until graduation, when I was amongst the business people. And you're like, Ain't you
What are
supposed
you
to be
doing?
there? This lady swears that we talked about it. I said, we never talked. I said, I never even brought it up because I knew what y'all were going to say. If I brought it up to say, I'm not doing it anymore, I knew what you were going to say. So I made a decision, went to my counselor, and thank God that, you know, it was somebody that could advise me on other routes, right? But I didn't feel like I could speak to them about that, you know, and I would have been a useless nurse.
Yep.
I would have,
Sorry, my doorbell.
you know, there are a lot of people who are doing all in all these fields that they have no business.
Yes.
They have no business. Yes, you have the classroom, but career takes more than just what you study, especially if you're in the medical field.
Yeah.
It takes more than what you study. Compassion, customer service skills. You know, if you leave your house and you're going to work and you're just upset and mad, how are you going to treat somebody to get well?
Yeah.
You know, it's all part we say, and you know, we have to make that room. In talking about the comparison, we have to make that room for our children to feel comfortable to come to us and say, I don't want to do this anymore.
Yeah.
You know, I don't want to do that anymore. Like I say with Princess, I was like, you know, she went to school on her own accord to become a medical doctor. I said, are you sure? Like, you know, something in me wanted to say, sister, please, let's sit down and reevaluate. I said, are you sure? Can you do it? She said, yes, I can. With her full chest. Yes, I can. I said, okay. Then you go on and become a doctor. Okay. I check in as time goes on. You sure? She said, yes. And then she's like, oh, I'm struggling with this class. Oh, I don't know about this class. I said, okay, midway, do you want to reevaluate? No, but I think I can do it. I'm not going to discourage you. Okay. Now we're here after graduation. Sis, what are we doing? I don't think I want to be a doctor anymore. After graduation, no.
And Nana, I think that's okay. I think even in that, she is making the decision herself with guidance. Like you said, you are not leaving her all by herself. I want to touch on the prayer factor. One thing that I've come to realize now as a parent is that you need to, like from now, let's try to figure out the interest, what our children are really good at.
That part, the interest.
I'm telling you. So for my third one, I realized this girl loves gymnastics. Aside that, she literally can pick up balloons and cut them and make clothes out of them. We are all not going to be medical doctors. We are not going to be lawyers. If everyone becomes a lawyer and a doctor, who's going to make the glasses? I'm not sure where Africans got this mentality from, Nanaya, but with what I know now, I am advocating for people to follow what they are passionate about, rather than the money. The money is good, but granted, there are people that are making more than 6 figures and they have no rest, they don't sleep, and you end up using all of that money to pay medical bills or to seek for psych treatment. Because with what you said, there's a young man that went to medical school, he finally graduated. But if I tell you, I mean, he's young, very young. He's lost hair. And he came and he said, please, parents, do not force your children to become medical doctors. It is not for everybody. And it's true. Listen, if your child has big business techniques, and it means that they can set up a restaurant, hair braid and salon, encourage that child, because that is their passion. Like I'm looking for fashion designing school for her. She's 6, but I see the talent, Nana. And I'm not just going to sit here and try to waste it and say, oh, no, we don't want,
become a lawyer.
And the thing is, when we go and do our hair, how much do we pay?
Exactly.
Every 6 weeks, I pay $150.
Yes. You
see?
see?
So they are making money. It's a good profession.
Yes. This little, the people can become.
And they probably learned it on YouTube.
Yes. Yes, Nana, but it's just sad that we always want our children. I don't know whether if you're a doctor and a lawyer, maybe you look different from everybody else. I don't know, but it's not all about the degrees. I'm sorry. At the end of the day, you're gonna hang it on your wall. You see. So and
Yeah.
I wanted to ask
It's
one
that.
question.
I don't even know where mine is.
Responding to my comment. Oh, Dr. Vivian, no, I was just touching onto your comment. I was just touching on your comment with what you said. It's so true, but I'm just saying that African parents or parents in general should really take time and see where their children's interests are. So that's just a different comment to your comment. But yes,
I
please,
hope
me,
that that's something that we're picking up, though. You know,
yes,
that's something that
me,
we're
I'm
picking up.
passionate, Nana.
Talking about my niece, you know. Yes, we paid for college. I said, okay, that's fine. You got the experience. Did you enjoy college? Yes, you did. Okay, what do you want to do in life? Because now you know that you don't want to do med school. What do you want to do in life? Let's come back to the drawing board. You know, what has happened has happened. We move on and try to get her to the position where she can actually do something that she loves and actually build a career, you know, with it. It opens up the communication. Like her mom was saying, you know, how come you tell your auntie stuff and you don't tell me, right? It's opening that, giving her the freedom to kind of express herself and not trying to, like, you know, as parents, sometimes we feel like we need to input so much. You know, you want to put your input in, sometimes just kind of scale back and listen. I know it's easier said than done.
And hear where they are, what they're thinking about, and what their mind is. Because, you know, sometimes they can surprise you, you know. And how else will you know that they've been listening to what you've been saying if you don't give them a chance to speak? You know, so I think it's, you know, so kind of, again, along the same lines, another point I would say is we have to protect and support the emotional well-being of our children. We have to. It's very important. We have to be, you know, cognizant of what is going on with them emotionally. If we see that all of a sudden they become very irritable or they're withdrawn, or when it comes time for school, they frequently saying they don't feel well, you know, we have to look into it and see, because if you're stressed or you're not feeling well, your brain, this is like brain science, right? Like if the two systems in your brain, there's one that controls logic, reasoning, planning, and all of that. And then there's one that controls your emotional regulation. Think about it, when you're running late for something, right? Let's say you have an appointment, you're running late. That's the time that you can't find your keys, right? You can't, because, and then the more stressed you are, you can't find it, because when you're stressed, the logic and reasoning, the ability to do that goes away, right? And so think about in the morning, when your kids are going to school, what are you saying to them? This is something I had to really, it was for me, because in the morning, I have one child who takes forever to get dressed. And so I found that I was always like, let's go, come on, let's go, you know, like, let's go, we're leaving. And then, so she's kind of like, you know, heightened. And so when she gets to school, it's like she needs kind of time to kind of bring herself down so that she can focus. And so we have to be cognizant of the way that we are talking to our children, the way we're sort of, what we're saying to them, what we're saying around them, the type of environment that we are creating for them. Are we making sure that they are set up for success in that way, you know? If they're stressed or they're not feeling well, we have to find out what's going on. We have to really make it a point to really figure out what's going on, and not just brush it off as, oh, you just go, you know, you're being soft, or, you know, you're being this. We really have to look into it to make sure that they are ready and prepared to learn as best that they can.
I really want to read a comment of what's up. It says that I love this topic so much. I'm not sure why people don't tune in to listen to these things, but Lady Mary, you guys are doing an amazing job. It says, I'm watching you guys from Italy. I have an auntie whose son lives abroad, I believe in the US, and she kept giving the son pressure on things that someone else's son is doing for them in Ghana. She kept giving them pressure only for them to find out that the other friend, which is her friend, my auntie's friend's son, was actually into scamming, and that is how he was making his money. So talking about comparison, I think comparison is something we want to be very mindful of when we are pressuring our children. Thank you
Yes.
so much for that comment. Thank you.
Yes, it's true. I mean, especially now where with social media, anybody can create an AI, anybody can create anything to look a certain way. You don't know what people are doing to get what they have or to get where
Digital
they are.
living.
Yeah. And so just manage your own and just, keep going.
Keep it that way.
Yeah.
Keep it like that.
Yeah. Seriously, because yeah, we just have to make sure we are just encouraging our kids to be the best at what they are doing. Try your best. That's what I tell my kids too. It's like, okay, did you try your best? You got a 90? Okay, you did your best. I don't want you to go and cheat just to get 100.
Yeah.
If you really tried and you asked, you took your time, you did the thing and you got a 90, I'm with it. But if you cheated to get 100, I don't want that.
Yeah.
I don't want that. And so we really have to make sure that we are, in tune with our kids.
Okay. Nanaya, I want us to read a few comments if that's okay, or at least give you shout out. So, Dr. Vivian, thank you for joining. Auntie Nana, thank you from the UK. Daddy Adi, you're on. Thank you. Samuel Safo, you are welcome. I think I projected the comments, but I like to read them. Clara, thank you for tuning in. She said, "Hey, I'm here. Thank you for always tuning in." And Henry says that those who get A, do they have two heads?
You see?
I know you saw that, and I said they have, and I said they have two heads plus one. All right, it says I'm listening to you guys. Yes, comparison in any form is bad. Says psychological people are built differently, and we need to appreciate that. Thank you for that. It says we refuse to support our kids with what the comment that you read earlier. If they have a learning disability, we pray it away. And I wanted to read it because you said even Jesus is ashamed. Okay. Jesus is ashamed of us praying every problem to him rather than taking responsibility or accountability. Yes. Parents need to realize every child has their niche. So when studying, they may flop as they cannot be mastered of everything. But with time, they identify their interest and flourish. Yes, thank you so much for that, Nana. Safo said, "Are you serious?" to the comment that you said your uncle, your dad reported to your uncle, and your uncle came and said you're not going to become anything.
Wow.
Okay, well, thank God that you flourish in your path that you chose. Bottom line is there's no way to compare a child with another child. Yes. The God factor is a different conversation altogether. As Ahmed, you know things that affect newborns, for especially drinking, drug use, etc. Thank you. One I want to read. It says parents also need to know their children because we need to guide them, and children of today are not long suffering. Yes. They want the easy way out. Thus, we need to guide our children on career choices. And what I projected now is that some parents try to live their dreams through their children.
It's true.
Nurturing their gift is important. Yes. Thank you so much. Please go ahead.
Yeah, it's true. It's very true. We have to think about that. I'm trying to go through my notes here because we've been we kind of talked about teaching our kids to ask for help. Instead of drowning and suffering in silence, they really have to learn that it's okay to do that. And to ask questions of adults. Right.
There's a comment on WhatsApp for you if that's okay.
Yeah, go ahead.
It says that can she explain, is education limited to the classroom? If not, can she give further explanation? Because some of our parents just don't understand this. Please.
So no, I mean, I think every opportunity, every lesson, life gives us so many lessons, and we have to just be available and open to receive it, right? We can't just go through life thinking that things are just happening by the way, right? And it's not only limited to the classroom. Because a lot of what I'm saying in terms of asking for help, the emotional well-being, it applies to adults too who are not in school, right? Even in the workplace, you can apply some of these same things, right?
Yeah.
And so, no, so I guess the answer to the question is it doesn't only apply to school. It's okay to ask for help in any capacity, right? I think sometimes we always, especially women and mothers, we tend to want to bear it all on ourselves and then say that, yeah, I don't know why we do that, but hey, it's okay to ask for help in anything that we're doing, in anything that
And
we're doing.
education is when we're talking about education, we automatically think academics, right? But there are other ways of education. You need to know how to take care of yourself. You need to know how to be street smart. You need to, those things are all form of education. Academics is in school, but your life, like life skills, are at home.
And I think there's a level of humility that is needed in order to, one, acknowledge that you need help, and two, to receive help from people. Because you have to acknowledge that I don't know all the answers. I don't have all the answers.
And that's where we have the most issue.
I was going to say people struggle with
Admitting the fact that I do not know, therefore I need help.
And I mean, you're not the only person that's all knowing is God. So
Exactly.
like, it's okay. So
Exactly. And that's the only way that you can really grow, admitting that you don't know. Even
Right.
as a parent, it's humbling for your child to say, well, you graduated college. Here's this second grade math. Help me with this.
Listen, it's different. It's different.
And you're like, I do not know. Sorry, I cannot help you. But how they taught me.
I would say, go ahead, ask your sister. Me, I don't know. Or I'll say it's right. Just know it's right. I just can't tell you why.
Okay, Nanaya. So,
Yeah.
well, you both are, yeah. I don't know if I should read this comment, but
Uh-oh.
No, read it. We are.
but this is no offense to any parent that is watching. If anything, I hope and pray that if you are like that, you learn from it. We are all learning, okay? It says that Lady Mary, I'm sorry to say this, but often those parents that are always eager to do the comparison, some of them are not that educated academically themselves. Okay.
I mean, I think that's kind of what we were saying. The humility is needed, right? To say, me, I don't know. Like when my parents, like the story I gave them, when my parents came here, they came in their teens. They didn't know anything about, school, what school to go to. So they asked people, what do you suggest? What should we do? How should we go about this? Because, I mean, not to say that they weren't educated, but they didn't know the way here,
Yeah.
and so that you have to, even those who are educated, you have to ask. Nobody has, until I haven't sent a child to college before. So I have to ask about that. I mean, and I have 3 degrees. I have to ask. It doesn't mean that I don't know anything. It just means I haven't done it before. So I have to ask those who have, okay, what did you do? What are some suggestions you have? And then I make my decision from there. But nobody knows everything, no matter how many degrees you have.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. She came back again. She said, what I'm trying to say is that my parents were always comparing me to other people, my siblings and I. But even when we got bad grades, they would always yab and compare us. But what I'm saying is that when we turn around to ask them, okay, since you guys think that we should be superheroes, then here, can you help me with this assignment? They had no clue of the said assignment.
Yeah, it happens.
They're just, I mean, in really, like one way that my mom really kind of keeps me quiet when I'm complaining about how you didn't do this and you didn't do that and you didn't do this. She said, you're in America. I did not grow up in America.
Mm-hmm.
If you feel like there's something that I did for you or something that I was supposed to do and I didn't know any better and I didn't do for you, guess what? Now you have your own. Do it for them. You know, since you know all and you know better and all that now, you know, the sky is your limit. Do it for them.
That's what I was saying in the beginning too. Ultimately, every parent wants the best for their child, and so maybe in this case, you know, the comment that you read, all they know is sort of what they've seen, and
That's what they know.
so that's all they know, and so, you know, in a sense, you can't fault them, right? Because they, in their mind, hey, I saw this person that I know, their child was doing this, so, and they're doing well, so that's the thing you have to do. So I think we have to really make a point to, you know, just as we are getting older, and, you know, you tell them, hey, you know, listen, I know you think that this is the only way, but I'm also going to try this, and
Yeah,
we'll see
we
how it
know
works.
better, so we do better. You know, like going back to how we are in a different world and how things that we learn growing up is not the same. For example, we grew up thinking you have to go to college. If you don't go to college, you're going to fail in life. You have to get a college education, which was kind of like hammered in our brains, right? As a parent, I don't think my child has to go to college to be successful.
Yes, with what we know
I
now, right?
recommend
Yeah.
it. Yeah, I recommend it. And, you know, it's part of our conversation. What do you want to do? Does what you really want to do calls for college? Is it something that you can start and maybe take some classes and, you know, build it up? You know, that's like a deeper conversation
Yeah.
when it comes to life in general. It's not you finish, you go to college, you do this, you get your master's. You know, by the time you're done, you have a PhD, but you have no experience. So you can't even get an entry level job because you become a professional student where you piled up on all these degrees and now you have no experience whatsoever. So who's going, you know, you're expecting somebody to um, give you an executive position because you have this PhD. But meanwhile, you have no experience. You know, we know to balance it. Our parents did not know. They did not know it was a different era.
Yeah. It really, I mean, it really is. And we have to, I know sometimes, you know, people say like, oh, we don't want to go with the times and all that. But if you don't, you will be left behind. Right. And there's a way to sort of, you know, stay in line with what is sort of happening, to be aware of what's happening around you so that you can make your decision, you know, based on that. But I mean, I remember, like you said, when we were going to school, college, undergrad was just extra high school, because from then you had to get a master's. Like it was like, you know, what are you going to do next, depending on your
Yeah.
degree? Like, okay, but that's not the case now. But also, the conversation is,
Yeah.
okay, listen, I want you to be successful and to be able to sustain yourself. So this thing that you want to do, how are you going to, like somebody mentioned earlier about the kids not having patience? Are you going to be able to, you want to be an entrepreneur? Yes. But it looks nice when everything is working and the money is coming in. But year one, year two, sometimes year three, year four, when the money's not
Four,
coming
five,
in,
six, seven, eight, nine, 10.
how are you going to sustain yourself? You
Mm-hmm.
know, and so, hey, do what you want to do, but ultimately it needs to sustain you, you know. And so maybe
Yeah.
it's for the beginning, you need a job. You need a job while you're working on your
You
dream
need
or your
something to
passion.
pay for your
That's
passion
it.
project.
That's it. That's it. So, you know, that's, we have to use, you know, we can use technology to help us, right? Like you all
Mhm.
talked about then, in the AI session, but you can use it to help. You can use it to do all things, but you just have to, as kids, we have to have boundaries, because we don't want, I mean, now some kids, you know, I mentioned that I'm a professor. Some students just, I can tell they have just putting it through AI. Like, I know this is not your writing, because when we meet for class, it's not the same person
No.
talking, you know?
Mhm.
And so,
You're very articulate in your papers, but when it comes to discussion, you have no contribution.
and you have no idea what we're talking about. So I know there, you didn't, it's not you. And so you don't want to get to the end. Yeah, you've got the degree, but you don't have the knowledge. So
Yeah.
what is it for? So again, it's not all about the grades, right? It's about the process to get there. So I think on my last point would be, as parents, we have to know when it's time to seek outside help. Like we've just been saying, you have to acknowledge, I don't know it all. Maybe my child I noticed that they're really struggling with math. They have a really hard time with math. Like I said, my dad, I guess he was tired of, he was frustrated. I was crying. It wasn't working. So he's like, listen, he asked around, got me a math tutor, and the rest was fine. What if you don't know, you have to ask. There's no shame in that, and that's what we want our kids to do, right? And so we have to model that for them, because when they are in school and they're not with us, we don't know what they're doing.
Yeah.
I work in a school. Kids are different. I know there's kids that go to my school that I see outside of school. I'm like, oh,
who are you?
It's not the same person.
It's not the same person. No. When your parents are here, you are a totally different person.
I'm telling you, they eat food that they don't eat at home. You'll be surprised. You'll be very surprised. And they do and say things, not bad, not bad, but just kids are different when they get around their peers and they feel more comfortable and more relaxed. And so, it's okay to ask for help. It's okay to kind of let them do their thing. But when they get home, they need to know that you and the teacher are on the same page and you are invested in their learning, and you're there to support them. So I think those are the points I will leave with y'all. And no one is an expert, really. We are all just trying
our best.
Yeah, I mean, when you go and buy,
nobody has been to parent education. Who has?
Listen, you go and buy even a fridge. You go and buy even a vacuum cleaner from the store. It comes with a manual.
Yeah.
Even a couch, it comes with a manual. Children, they send you home from the hospital 2-3 days later. You're on your own.
It's on you.
Figure it out.
Whatever you do to it, it's up to you. Try and error.
We are all trying, and so I think surround yourself with other parents you can talk to, who have in a range, right? Not everybody who is sort of behind you, right? You want to surround yourself with people who have been where you're trying to go, right? Because they can help you as you get there. And they know what you've been through. Yes, the experience is not the exact same, but it will help you to have. It's important to have someone, be there, be there to help and guide you. I mean, that's how that's the only way. It's the only way. So, yeah.
Okay, I think she put in a comment.
Yes.
Thank you but if our children don't want us to comment or make comparison, then they won't live in our house. Okay. Well, hey, every parent is different. Do what works for you in your household, right?
That's it. Yeah,
we can only suggest and educate. It's up to everybody, if you feel
do
like
what works for you.
The person is working for you and your children are flourishing because you're over there comparing them to other people, then right. We can only, but when we know better, we do better. And one thing that I'm learning is you can't really, children just have to learn with experience. A lot of times we think that we can just talk. Doesn't work.
No. We have to. I think we have to sort of give them that freedom, right? They think it's freedom, but it's not really. Give them that freedom to be able to build the independence, because the reality is you want them to make certain mistakes while they're still in the house with you.
Yes.
It can help to guide them.
So you can guide them. Yes.
Yeah. Because, when they're away from home and they're left to, their own devices, or maybe they're getting advice from their friends, who knows what they're going to say? Yeah. Your children should be the ones sort of dictating, in their groups. They shouldn't be sort of, the ones led astray. They should be the ones, to say what is right because you've taught them,
Yeah.
So
yeah, they can. I mean, this is the training ground. You know, you want to raise people who can go out there and make their own decisions, make sound decisions. Like what
Yep.
I'm learning, like a lot of people our age, I feel like can't really make, like they can't, when it comes to critical thinking, it's like, was somebody just in your house just telling you what to do each and every time, where you didn't have to like make a decision for yourself?
Yes. The answer is yes.
You know,
I'm telling you, I see that at school all the time.
it's like, you know, make good decisions. It's like make a decision, let me not even say good decision, just make a decision.
Yeah.
You know, take charge and say, this, I'm going to put A, B, and C together to see if D can, you know.
But some families,
that type of people.
but some families don't give their kids that room to do that, you know, and for a number of reasons. Who knows? You know, some people, that's just, maybe that's how they were raised, and so that's what they can continue to do. But we have to build, like I said, that comment, when I read that about, like, you know, we are raising our kids to not need us, it hit me hard, but it's true, right? We are not always going to be there to tell them, okay, go left, this is what happened, do this, do that. No, they need to build those skills, those critical thinking skills for themselves, you know, to be able to know.
That's very important, because I see, like, I work with people, grown folks, and like, people will make decisions and you're like, huh?
Yeah. Yep.
You know, and then it brings me back to my home, and I'm like, if my child was in this like age, if my child is this age, would they be able to make sound decisions? Like really, like think through the process and actually come out with a sound decision.
Yep, that's the goal.
We have to focus on that. We have, because eventually they're going to leave.
Yeah, I mean that should be everybody's goal. Because listen, I mean, at
one way or another, they have to leave.
Yeah.
You know, but would they? What type of person would they be out there?
What type of husband or wife are you raising?
That part.
But that's a conversation for another day.
That's a whole different stuff. That is a whole different topic. Lord have mercy. What kind of husbands and wives are we raising?
Mm-hmm.
That part. So if, you know, going back to the whole comparison one, if you raise a child and all they hear is be like this person, be like this person, be like this person, be like this person, then at the end of the day, they walk around being like that person, being like that person, being like that person, and they have no identity of their own.
And what you are telling your child is that they are not enough.
They're not good enough.
And that they don't have any value being who they are. And that is very dangerous.
Yeah.
It's very dangerous for a child to get that sort of message from their parent, who is supposed to, I mean, your parents are the two people who are supposed to support you and be, you know, behind you regardless. And if you're constantly hearing from your parents, why don't you be like this person? You see this one, do that. What you're telling them is that they are not enough.
Yeah.
They don't have any value as their own person. And it's not right. It's not right, you know. And I think that it has very, very significant psychological effects on them to hear from their parents that always be like this person. Be like, why? Am I not?
And then there's this mentality that we have. We have this mentality that if you talk down on your children, like you know, that it's better to not make them feel too proud. You know what I'm trying to say?
Mm-hmm.
Like if you're always installing like praise and lifting them, then they feel like, you know, their head gets big and they feel, you know, but that's what they're supposed to feel. That's what they're like, that's what you're supposed to do. That's not a bad thing, you know. Putting people down, I think maybe culturally, we feel like it's best to put people down than to lift them up.
Because you don't,
you know, that's such a wrong mentality.
Yeah, you should be your child's number one cheerleader, period.
Listen. I
Sometimes the
mean,
kids would be telling me, can you be quiet? No.
no, you're the best.
Yes.
Of course. Who you got? You got this in the class. You are this. Who else is gonna get it if not you?
Yeah.
It's gonna be. It has to be you. Who else?
Yeah.
Of course.
Yep.
You know, let Micah tell it. He's the best.
Listen.
It's my fault, but it's okay.
Yeah. You know, but so long as, you know, the kids don't put other people down to lift themselves up, that's the difference. You know,
Yes.
that's the difference. You can be great at what you're doing, but you don't have to demean somebody else in order to lift yourself up, right? That's the thing.
That's the part. That's the part. Knowing that you can be excellent, and somebody too can be excellent. You know,
Right.
It's okay. It's okay,
Yeah.
but install those things in your children. Praise them. You tell them they're beautiful. Like the little girls. I mean, being the color that we are, we have it hard enough. We have it hard enough. So those things are really needed to bring their self-esteem up.
Yeah.
And also to let them know, because like I know if my kids are out, in school and they're not getting the grades that we expect them to get, they know, right, that that's not good enough.
They have to explain it. Yeah.
They have to explain it, and they know that they can do better because they've been doing better. So what's going on? Why are we regressing?
Yeah.
But it all takes talking, consistent communication. Not, I'm just gonna tell you what to do and you do it and we move on. No.
I saw the comment about decision-making skills. It's important. It's very important. It's important. Very important.
Very critical. Very critical. Yeah. Okay. Any last words? Yeah.
I see there's another question about, is it wise for parents to charge or make children pay rent out of their part-time job?
Hey, how old are they?
No, that's a good question though. I think, yes, it depends on the age though, but I think, I don't know. I think a lot of things about that. But one of the things I wonder about, like, what's the motive, right, for the parent to charge? Are you like, is it to teach them sort of responsibility with money? Okay, what are you doing with the money? Are you using it? Are you holding it for them later on?
Investing it for them.
I think there's a lot of factors to consider there. I think, because I think it is helpful for kids to learn how to manage money appropriately. But if a parent is trying to charge their child rent to help offset some of the, their costs, and so they don't have to come out of their pocket, I think that's a little different.
Especially if you don't need it.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's one thing to sort of keep them, maybe, asking them to do something just to teach them responsibility, and maybe you're keeping it aside for them and giving it to them later. I don't know. I think it depends on the age of the child.
I think a little bit more detail is needed. Again, like, my first thing is how old is this person? Is this person 14 and they have a job and you feel like they need to pay some of the bills? If they're 18, they have a job, are they in school? What other expenses do they have? Do you need it?
Yeah. But I think to teach them responsibility with money is very important, because we've seen adults who don't know how to do that. But I think, I would just wonder, what is the parent doing with the money? Are they using it because they're using it to pay bills? Yeah, that's different, but what is the age of the child? Are they, I would need to know a little bit more.
Yeah.
It can go a number of different ways.
Yeah, contribution here, teaching kids to pay bills at an early age helps to develop responsibility.
Yes.
And so I think advise them to save the money. Maybe if you want to take money from them, save it for them. Yeah. And if they are living in your house, not in school, working full time, they will pay bills.
Oh, okay. It looks like we got some more information here.
What she say? Said mom takes $400 a month from each of her siblings to help pay rent and bills. she's 20 and in college. Well, so she needs it.
Yeah.
It looks like it's a single mother who needs the money. Yeah. I mean, if you're 20, you're living at home, I understand you're in college, but you know, mom needs it to support um the expenses, then there's nothing wrong with it. I mean, both mom and dad works. They keep adding
That's what
stuff.
you see. You see, I went quiet because I don't know that I agree with what you're saying.
Okay. No, I'm saying though, if I'm a single parent, okay, and I'm living home with my grown children who have jobs, right? And I need the money to help with the bills in the house. I mean, I think your mom
That's not,
shouldn't, if that's the situation, they shouldn't even have to say it because
yeah,
she
but
knows that they need it.
that's not the case in this specific example.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I thought, but then they kept coming. They kept. All right, mom and dad works. She's not a single mother. They both work. They just sit down with them and talk. Sit down because it's really if it's kind of say it's wrong or it's right because again you're 20, you're working. If you're working full time. And they're asking you to pay bills. Maybe they're just trying to teach you. Maybe they're
I think I need. That's what I was saying. I need more context to be able to give a definitive answer. But I think what the last comment that came in from Amy, if they're living in my home, not in school, working full time, they will pay bills. I support it.
Yeah, I don't think it has a psychological effect.
No. No. Well, I think it does. I think it helps them to develop responsibility, so it has that positive impact. But if they're asking, does it impact them negatively? No, I don't.
Because it's really stressful. I pay my car insurance and pay my phone bill, and believe me, if you're living by yourself, you'll be paying more than that. So
it's true.
400 for rent is not bad at all in this economy.
I mean, but I think in this case, I think a conversation needs to take place, with the family, to kind of get an understanding. Maybe, you share that the student shares that I'm paying it, and it's really coming at it's challenging, right? And it's challenging me in the following ways.
Away from you being able to do other stuff
so I think conversation.
You feel like you have to go work so you can pay rent, and you can't really focus on school.
Yeah, I think you have a
conversation. Yeah,
have a conversation about sort of the pieces and go from there. Yeah, but rent is high.
Rent is high. Mortgage is high. Hey, it's high. So yeah. All right. Any last words, Dr. Yan?
No, I think ultimately, I think like I said, every parent wants the best for their child. They really do, and we just. Sometimes, you need help. We all need help in making sure that our kids be that which God has created them to be. Ultimately, that's what we want, right? We want them to do what God created them to do, not what we want them to do, because if they do what God created them to do, they will be successful.
Yeah.
Right. So it's our job as parents to create an avenue or a path for them to get there. And to not get in the way, so, and, just find somebody that if you don't know, find someone, to ask, to just get advice from and go from there. Surround yourself with people that can help you.
Yeah. There's no cookie cutter, route, like you said, we're all trying our best, but really try your best. Mm-hmm. Try your best as a parent. Everybody wants their child to be top. Everybody wants their child to be most successful. I'm sure that children, maybe their mind may not be on that level where they feel like, well, I need to be this, I need to be that, but ultimately they want the best for themselves too. Right. And they have to be part of the conversation.
Yeah.
We can't just dictate for them and say, do as I say, and that's it. You can't give any input because I know what's best for you. We don't even know what's best for ourselves. You know,
we all just manage it.
we're all just managing. Talk about, knowing what's best for your child. We don't. We're all just trying to make the best. And I think if you have an honest conversation and say, I just want the best for you. So let's just come to the table and see what that looks like. What are you interested in? Help me help you. Let's take this route. Let's do this. Let's do this. What do you think? Get their input, and it will be a little bit easier on ourselves as parents. So this was a great conversation. Thank you so much, Dr. Ya.
Thank you for having me.
Yes, it's not the last time. We find some other topics for you to come in on. This was really, really good. And I hope that everybody that tuned in got something out of it. We're not professional parents here trying to teach you and tell you all what to do. We're just having a conversation that we feel that, it's needed, especially in our community. It's very well needed. So thank you for tuning in. Thank you, everybody. And thank you for accepting the call, Dr. Ya.
Thank you.
You all next week, same time, same place. Thank you. Have a good one.
Good evening.
Yo. Now you matter when you talk. Your life, your wahala, your breakthrough, idea. Welcome to the chat room.
This no be ordinary place. Now a solution they show face. LadyMary they lead the way. With guess where go blow your brain. Talk your matter make we solve 'em. No judgment, just love and wisdom. We dey discuss, we dey learn. Every episode you go feel the burn. The chat room. Now here we define the way. The chat room.
Oh yes.
We go talk and clear, no delay. It's interactive, educative, informative and unapologetic. The chat room.